Hi. Today I'm going to explain the sought after question is the power of Wing Chun. It's actually very simple, and in this session I'm going to explain and illustrate where the power comes from and how it is generated. As you know, Wing Chun boasts about the power coming from the ground, coming from the Yu Ma, Yu meaning hip, Ma meaning horse, but in this case the horse stance. And it gives the small person a lot of power. And how does that work? It enables a small person to generate all of their body weight in behind the punch so that they can generate power. It levels off the playing field. One example is that with use properly with the stance and with the punch, and if you step in, you can, if you were 100 pounds, you can put all your 100 pounds and punch with 100 pounds. So if somebody punches you with 100 pound of force, it's still a tremendous amount of force. Even if you're a 240 pound man receiving a 100 pound punch, it is still quite a strong punch. I'm a small guy. I'm 5'6" and I weigh about 133 pounds. And I practice on one of my friends who's teaching Wing Chun with, and he weighs 200 pounds. And this guy's like 5'10", he's 200 pounds of muscles. And I go in and I use my Wing Chun stance and I step in and I punch him like this. And he's standing with a pad on his chest in front of me like this, and when I punch it, he flies 1, 2, 3. He flies 3 steps back. Repeatedly, time after time when I do this, boom, he goes this much. And this guy weighs 200 pounds. That's what's good about Wing Chun. Part of what I like about it is that it does not rely on body mass, physical abilities, and it relies a lot on structure. And it allows a small person to overcome people that are much bigger than you. Of course, if I did that same technique to maybe somebody who's 250 pounds, it might not work as well. Certainly, I don't think it would work for someone who's 300 pounds. I think at 300 pounds, they might just absorb my punches. But it's really good because to have this as a self-defense, if somebody were, be 200 pounds standing in front of me right away in their head, they know that I'm a small guy. You can tell by the weight of my body that I'm a tiny guy. I'm like a small child or a woman in North America. But if somebody were to push you around and you were to just go like this and push them, they would undoubtedly fly back several steps, or even if it was a punch. So this would really cause somebody to really think twice about attacking you. You can use this as just self-defense. How this work is when I'm going to say helping someone train in this structure is most natural way to punch is with all of your shoulders. It doesn't matter if it's boxing, Muay Thai, or Chinese Kung Fu. Your natural way to punch is with these shoulders. So most people, if they want to punch you, they punch you with the right fist, it's the shoulder. They punch you with the left fist, is this kind of movement here. So it requires usually a big man to have big arms, big shoulders to punch. But you realize that even for a big man, when you punch with your shoulder, you are just moving a percentage of your body weight, not your entire body weight. You're moving about this much body weight. Yes, in a lot of martial arts, they do tell you to punch not just with the shoulder, but with the hip and shoulder together. But even when you punch with the shoulder and the hip together, this shoulder and this hip is moving away from your opponent. And you're still only moving half of your body weight, which is this half of your body weight. You are powering your shoulder and your hip. The other half is actually going this way. So you still are not utilizing your entire body weight, whereas Wing Chun, we use our entire body weight. For starters, you know the center line, and we stress about putting the elbow behind the weight of your body, and that not only that the straight line is the shortest distance, but when we train for this, we are actually aligning the arm so that it was the elbow here support the entire body weight of your core and of your body, so that whatever you do, you can deliver the entire weight to your opponent. Let me illustrate this with a bottle and a pen, and you will probably understand it a little bit more clear. Okay, experiment number 1. How to transfer Wing Chun body weight. If this was your arm, this is the smaller guy, and this would be you. This would be your opponent, a bigger guy. Now, if you throw a regular punch with your elbow up and over your body, away from the center of your body, would be like throwing a punch like this, having your elbow out of your body. And notice, if you punch and you try to transfer body weight like this, you are not transferring the entire body weight of your whole body. You are essentially trying to punch like this, and only this much weight is being transferred and not everywhere. So effectively, when you put your elbow in the middle and punch with your elbow behind your core, would be this. You are then using your entire body weight to transfer all of your body weight to punch somebody who's much bigger than you are. In this case, you are transferring 100% of your body weight, which is the center of your mass. And that is why we want to keep our elbows in the center. As well, also, if your arm and your elbow is behind the center of your body, it also gets the entire force of your body weight when you generate a punch. Notice the arm serves as a stick. So therefore, you can have no muscles whatsoever, have a very, very skinny arm, and still generate a lot of force. If the arm was off to the side, the elbow was off to the side, once again, you are not generating your entire body weight. And that is the fact that why Wing Chun, we stress on having the elbow in the center. So this core that we use, putting our elbows right in front of our core that aligns our whole body, we use this for everything, and that's where all your power comes from. And I don't care, it doesn't have to be a punch. Now it could be, say, a gansao, right? Okay. Now if I've gotten all ready to show you before I turn, and I add the yuma into it, and look at this. I'm not really using my arm to gan. I'm actually using the core, which is the entire body of my body, to gan something that's coming this way. It could be a jamsao. And once again, I'm going to do the jamsao first, and then. So what am I going to jump? I'm actually jump somebody's arm with the core of my body. Let's say if it's a lan, so it's the same thing. The barrier hand, the lan. So when somebody is applying force at me, if you get the structure right correctly, and you go like this instead of a punch, I'm actually creating a structure here that is going to practically block anything coming my way. Once again, I have my friend who's 200 pounds of muscles to do a swing like this, a drunken man's swing at me like this, and all I do is just put up my hand in the structure that I'm in like that, and he hits my hand like this, and no matter how hard he tries, I just block his punches without effort. And my arms are skinny as hell, so if you get your structure correctly, supporting with your yuma and your elbows in the correct place, you can stop anything. It doesn't matter how big the guy is. Of course, we try not to practice blocking techniques. In Chun, we try to go with the flow. But if you have to block, I know my blocks are there, and I know that they'll stop any big guy coming in with a punch. There's no problem at all if your structure is done correctly. So now that you know how the Wing Chun power is generated by using the core of the body and putting your arm in the middle just to support your core, which is your entire body weight. Now we're going to go into the how we generate hips. Wing Chun is said that it's a woman's art, and is this true? The legend has it that it's Mui, who is a nun, and developed Wing Chun from various different martial arts, and then she taught it to a girl named Wing Chun who had to beat up the man that she didn't want to get married to. That is nice legend, but the real fact of Wing Chun and why it is a woman's art is because we in Wing Chun utilize our hip, where we turn off the entire shoulder, which is the natural inclination to punching. By doing this, we turn that completely off and we replace that with the hips. So here are the stickies, and just to illustrate properly, this is where we generate our power. So we kill the shoulder completely, and when I teach this to somebody new to Wing Chun, to teach them is to try to, through repetition, turn off your shoulders and replace your shoulder powers with your hips. And when you can do that naturally, and when your hip becomes your natural inclination to punch, that is when you become a Wing Chun man. And how do we do this is, here you just watch, just to illustrate here that I'm going to exaggerate these movements. If I'm punching with the right hand instead of using the shoulders, and watch here, I'm punching like this. That is it. It's not a big movement. It's this, and if I want to punch you with my left, it would be here. I'm punching with the left. I'm not going to punch. I want you to look here. That is it. This little movement. The right once again, and the left. And if it's both equally, now I'll do this on the side and maybe you can see it a little bit better. And here it is doing this sideways. It kind of resembles breakdancing, if you remember what breakdancing is about. You see this wave happening, like it's very much like that. So if you're sideways and you're throwing a punch maybe straight on with both hips, it's this simple wave. You tighten your thighs, you push this power from your ground from the heel and the foot of your foot to your thigh area. Then from the thigh area to the hips, and then from the hips, it miraculously jumps from the hips to your elbow. It does not go up to the shoulder. So if I were to punch, I don't care with left or right. In this case, if I don't have a lead leg, both equal hips thrusts forward. You're going to kind of see like a wave happening. Of course, I'm exaggerating this. And if it's the lead leg, or if you want to step in, and it's that simple. And I think this pretty much concludes the power of Wing Chun. Well, I hope you like it. have you understood the mechanism of this power? And if you have any questions, just leave them on comments below. Have a nice day.